Hello and welcome to Blogging for Programmers. In this final episode for 2025, I want to talk about one last thing, and that is have fun. This is not a chore. Shouldn't feel like I need to blog, and if I don't blog, I'll be a failure, right? You don't need to. You don't need to blog any more than you need to make videos, any more than you need to do pretty much anything except do your job and do it well and learn stuff. And how you learn stuff is completely up to you. It's not about anything you want it to be, right? You want it to this to be some equation you can say, here's the way I can be the best in my job, the best in my career, and the best thing to do is blogging. I will go ahead and say there's some truth there. Blogging and making yourself a presence on the internet in that way is really, really good. Searchable. It's readable. There's something about writing that has this air of value, and so much that people will plagiarize it and do exactly the same thing. It's kind of like anything, right? People see somebody doing something successful, they will copy it. And we've been blogging. I started like that 25 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's old. Right. I started that way. I saw people blogging. Caitlin Delaney was one of my heroes back then. I saw her blogging, and I loved it, and I got involved in it, and I kept doing it. But you don't have to, right? This is not a chore. I also don't want to even suggest that you're going to love it every single minute. Okay. There's no job whatsoever that you can do, even one that's a hobby like this, that will be fun every single time you do it. Sorry, I promise that. But I will say that once you get a rhythm going and you know how to format, and I'll put out some videos later on that. I'll start doing a little bit of technical stuff. I'll show how I do things in WordPress. Next year, I will put out some videos with WordPress tips for people who are going to use WordPress to blog. There's a few little tips that really help me get past the ugly stage, the initial stage, because you have to learn how to format the text and make it look good. I'll do some of that. Just quick tips like this, same thing. And some of that stuff's going to start out as work, and that's not fun. It's not fun. The worst part of writing blogs in the initial, until you get good at it, is formatting text, because you can't just put it out there like in a notepad necessarily. I mean, there's probably a way to monospace font your entire blog, but that looks really hard to read. And I've mentioned this numerous times. The technical content is what matters, and you'll find that the technical part, if you're a programmer, if you're someone who likes to create code, talking about that will become fun. It's just like if you're a presenter and you're trying to learn to blog. What is the worst part about presenting? Making slides, right? Or a script. If you're not gonna use slides at all, it's making a script. It's going through the steps and making sure you know what you're doing. Oh, that's the same here. There's gonna be some work. It's not always super duper duper fun, but it is overall fun, because once you put together a piece that tells what you want to tell and has the examples you want to show and all the things, and you have the narrative that feels like it's you. And when you push that publish button, or schedule, another thing I'll talk about in the future. Once you push that button that says, put this out to the public, it is such a good feeling. And you do this, fireworks. Yay, it's done. And as I mentioned a few episodes ago, there's this thing called schedule, and I have to do it again. But every single time I push schedule on a blog, I am happy. I'm excited. I mean, a little trepidation about what's going to happen when other people read it and all that kind of stuff. But this is overall sense of joy that I've done this thing and I've shared this thing with the world, and that is someone's going to be helped by it. And if nobody else on earth is helped by it, almost every single time I blog, I learn something. I learned something I did not know. Even if I start out to write a topic on something I feel like I'm an expert at. And I don't like that term expert, but there are some things. I can write a select statement, select star from table. I could write that all day, right? I'm an expert at that level. Okay. I'm more in depth than that, but let's just say that's it. I write a blog on that. It will be 5 pages long, and I will learn something about what happens. I'll figure out why it select star expands and how that is and how that does and how it shows up in the query plan. There's something I will find out. I don't think it actually does, but there's something I will find out about that, and I will have added to my knowledge. And when I forget that, and I always will, because, that's just how life is. You can only keep so much in your brain. I will have a place to go back to. Said, let me go look at the blogs I wrote about SQL Server. Hey, look at that one. That's the one. I remember that. That's it. And then I again, we'll reference back. Throwback here. Yes, I did lose some posts. Over time, you lose posts. Don't do that. Find a way to keep them on your site. Not only on your site, but like in a folder on your computer, maybe in Dropbox, maybe something that you knew you're going to have forever. Boy, if Dropbox went away, that would be scary because I have so many pictures on there. But in the end, celebrate every single blog you post. Be happy about it. Happy enough maybe to even market yourself on it, but be happy with it. It's a good feeling to finish something and put it out. That's pretty much the only thing I want to say. This is the last tip for 2025. There will be one last post sometime for the end of the year saying, yay, 2-year, and here's what I'm thinking of. And I'll go ahead and start writing up episode ideas for the future. But I really would like to thank you for watching this episode. If no other episode, I'd like to thank you for that. I would like to thank everybody I've come in contact with over the years who have led me here, starting with Kaylin, Paul Nielsen. They were probably my first 2 big influences. And Tony Davis, who was my editor of my 2005 book. I don't remember the editor of the 2000 book. I remember that being a nightmare. And I remember Tony Davis quite a bit, Jonathan Ginnick. There's a lot of people who have shepherded me towards getting a feel for things and how to do things. And they've shaped my larger works. And larger works are a lot like shorter works, just bigger or more sets of those things. I do the same things over and over and over, and it becomes a book. And as long as you're tying them together, it's really not any different than writing a blog. But I'll talk about books. I'll talk about all that kind of stuff in the future. But right now, celebrate that. Celebrate that every post. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. All right. That's all I got. Thank you. Talk to you in the future.